Nathan Crawford fidgeted at a cozy corner table in the Riverside Cafe, the kind of place where the warm glow of Edison bulbs and rustic brick walls made everyone seem a little more charming. At 32, he was a corporate lawyer with a life that screamed success, tailored charcoal suit, dark hair swept just right, and a gold watch that once ticked on his father's wrist. But beneath the polished exterior, Nathan felt like he was sleepwalking through his days, drowning in contracts and courtrooms. His sister, relentless in her mission to shake him out of his rut, had badgered him into this blind date. "You need to live a little," she'd said, and he'd caved just to quiet her. Now, 15 minutes early, because being late wasn't in his DNA, he scrolled through his phone, half dreading the evening, half hoping it might surprise him. "Nathan?" The voice was soft but sure, pulling him from his screen. He looked up, and his breath hitched. She was stunning, mid-20s, blonde hair catching the cafe's golden light like a halo, her cream blouse effortlessly elegant. But it was her eyes that stopped him cold, sharp, searching, like they could peel back every layer he'd spent years building. "Yes, hi. You must be Claire," he said, standing too fast, offering a handshake that felt oddly formal. Her grip was firm, her smile polite but tinged with something reserved, like she was holding a secret. "Thanks for doing this. I know blind dates are a gamble," she said, settling into the chair across from him. "No, it's fine. My sister's been singing your praises," Nathan replied, easing back into his seat. The server swung by, and Nathan suggested the house specialty coffee, which Claire accepted with a nod. The first few minutes were a dance of awkward small talk, the kind where you're both testing the waters. Claire asked about his job, and he launched into his well-rehearsed spiel about corporate law, dressing it up to sound more thrilling than it was. She listened, her questions sharp and thoughtful, not just polite filler. There was a spark in her attention that made him feel seen, which was both refreshing and unnerving. "And you?" he ventured, steering the conversation her way. "My sister said you're in education." Claire's eyes lit up, but there was a quiet intensity behind them. "I teach high school English literature. The pay's nothing to brag about, but I love it. There's something magical about watching a kid find a book that flips their world upside down." Nathan smiled, genuinely intrigued. "That sounds like it matters. What got you into teaching?" Her expression flickered, a shadow passing over her face. "I had a teacher who saw me when I felt like a ghost. She believed in me when I didn't. I wanted to be that for someone else." Her words carried a weight that hinted at a deeper story, one she wasn't ready to unpack. Nathan felt a tug of curiosity, but before he could dig, Claire leaned in, her gaze locking onto his. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure," he said, caught off guard. "You don't remember me, do you?" The question hit like a curveball, stirring a ripple of confusion. Nathan studied her face, searching for a spark of recognition, but came up empty. "I'm sorry, have we met?" Her smile was bittersweet, tinged with a knowing edge. 15 years ago, Westfield Academy. We went to the same high school." Nathan's mind spun back to those days, junior and senior year, a blur of popularity, debate team captain, dating the cheerleader everyone envied. It was a golden era, or so it felt at 17. "I was there," he said cautiously. "But I'm sorry, I don't remember you. Were we in classes together?" "A few," Claire said, her voice steady but laced with something raw. "We didn't exactly run in the same circles. You were Nathan Crawford, the golden boy. I was Claire Morrison, the scholarship kid who stayed invisible, sitting in the back, hoping no one noticed me." The name didn't ring a bell, but a sinking feeling crept into Nathan's gut. "I'm sorry, I don't," he started, but she raised a hand, gentle but firm. "Let me finish. I need to say this. When your sister mentioned your name, I almost bailed. Because back then, you were part of a crowd that made my life miserable. You didn't throw things or write nasty notes on my locker, but you stood there. You laughed at their jokes. And once, just once, you did something I've never forgotten." Nathan's chest tightened. He wanted to bolt, to escape this unexpected reckoning with a past he'd barely revisited. But Claire's eyes held him, not angry, but searching, needing to be heard. It was spring, your senior year, she continued. Jessica Winter's big party. The one everyone talked about. I wasn't invited, of course. I was working late with my dad, cleaning offices downtown to help pay the bills. He was the school janitor, you know. Nathan's stomach churned. He vaguely remembered the janitor's daughter, the whispers, the cruel laughs he'd never stopped. The party came back in flashes, loud music, too much beer, a night that felt epic when you're young and stupid. He'd been on the front steps, sulking over a breakup, the world feeling heavy in that melodramatic teenage way. I was walking home from the bus stop, past midnight, still in my cleaning uniform, Claire said, her voice softening. I passed Jessica's house, the party still raging. You were sitting on the steps, alone, looking like your world had ended. I tried to slip by, invisible as always. But you looked up and saw me. I braced for a jab, for you to call your friends to mock the girl in the dingy uniform. But you didn't. You asked if I was okay, if it was safe to be walking alone so late. I said I was fine, that I lived nearby. And then you did something that threw me. You pulled a $20 bill from your wallet and said, take a cab home. It's not safe. Nathan had no memory of this moment, but he could see himself doing it, drunk, emotional, trying to play the hero to feel less broken. I didn't take it, Claire said. I was too proud, too angry at you and your world. I told you I didn't need your charity. And you said, it's not charity. It's just one human looking out for another. Please, it'd make me feel better. You looked so sincere, so worried, that I took it. I took the cab home and cried the whole way, because I couldn't make sense of it. The boy who stood by while his friends tore me down was the same one who showed me kindness I didn't expect. The cafe felt stifling now, Nathan's collar choking him. Why are you telling me this? He asked, voice barely above a whisper. Claire sipped her cold coffee, her eyes steady. Because when your sister described you, a successful lawyer who seems lost, working himself to death, keeping everyone at arm's length, I wondered if you remembered that night. If you remembered me. And when I saw you here, all polished and perfect but so alone, I knew you didn't. Nathan swallowed hard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't remember. I'm sorry I was part of something that hurt you. I was 17, dumb, chasing popularity like it was everything. Claire nodded. We all were. But that moment on those steps, that small act of kindness from someone I'd written off, it stuck with me. It showed me people are more than the boxes we put them in. That even those who've been cruel can surprise you. It's part of why I teach, to see the humans behind the masks. Something cracked open in Nathan, a wall he hadn't known he'd built. Your sister didn't tell me who you were, Claire said, a small smile breaking through. But I came because I wanted to see who you'd become. If that boy who cared enough to help a stranger was still in there, buried under the suits and the 70-hour weeks. And I think he is, tired, lonely, maybe forgetting that success isn't happiness. Nathan let out a laugh, raw and real. You don't hold back, do you? Life's too short, she said, her eyes warm. I spent too long being invisible. Now I say what I mean. They talked for hours, the conversation flowing like a river finding its course. Nathan opened up about things he'd locked away, the weight of his father's legacy, the emptiness of his perfect life, the last time he felt truly alive. Claire shared her own truths, her father's death 5 years ago, his sacrifices for her future, the students she'd watched rise above impossible odds, the small apartment overflowing with books and plants, a life unglamorous but deeply hers. When the cafe staff started stacking chairs, they realized they'd outstayed everyone else. Outside, the night air was crisp, and they lingered on the sidewalk, not ready to part. I almost cancelled tonight, Nathan admitted. Told my sister I was swamped with work. A lie, but an easy out. Claire's smile was soft. I'm glad you didn't. Me too, he said, then hesitated. Would you want to do this again? Just us, no setups. She studied him, her gaze piercing but kind. One condition, we skip the fancy cafe. There's a diner near my school with the best pie in the city. It's not much, but it's real. Can you handle that? Nathan grinned, feeling lighter than he had in years. I think the suit and tie Nathan could use a dose of Dinah Claire. Might be good for him. Might be good for both of us, she said, her smile reaching her eyes. They had that second date, then a third, and by the 10th, Nathan knew he was falling for her, a woman he'd once overlooked when seeing her would have cost him nothing. Claire taught him to savor the small joys, to redefine success. He showed her that her past didn't limit her, that she'd built something extraordinary from hardship. A year later, Nathan left his soul-crushing firm to start a non-profit offering legal aid to low-income families. The pay was a fraction of his old salary, but he'd never felt more alive. 2 years after that, he proposed, not at some upscale restaurant, but at Claire's beloved diner, over pie and coffee. As he slid the ring on her finger, her eyes brimming with happy tears, he said, I think about that kid on those steps sometimes. If I could tell him anything, it'd be that the moment he thought was nothing, a small gesture to feel better about himself, would lead him to the love of his life. That kindness is never wasted, even if you don't remember it. Claire, wiping her eyes, replied, and I tell 17-year-old me that the girl who felt invisible would one day be seen, truly seen, by someone who learned to look deeper. That our stories don't end with the hard chapters. They married 6 months later, a simple ceremony with close friends and family. Claire's students formed a guard of honor, holding books instead of swords, a perfect touch. Years later, they'd tell their kids the story of a blind date that wasn't blind at all, a second chance they didn't know they needed. It was a reminder that we're more than our worst moments or our best, just messy humans finding our way. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we meet someone who sees us better than we see ourselves, who shows us who we could be. That's not charity, it's one human looking out for another. And sometimes, it's everything. If this story touched your heart, reminded you of the power of second chances, or made you believe in the kindness hidden in all of us, please like, share, and subscribe to Midnight Tales for more stories that dive into the beautiful complexity of being human. Drop a comment below about a moment someone saw the best in you when you couldn't see it yourself. We'd love to hear your story. Keep tuning into Midnight Tales, where every story is a chance to see the world, and ourselves, a little clearer.